When people talk about metabolism, they usually think of it like this mysterious engine in the body that just decides how much energy you burn. It's the reason some people can eat a whole pizza and stay lean, while others feel like even looking at bread makes them gain weight. And the way we usually approach metabolism is kind of mechanical. People want to know the hacks, the tricks, the supplements, the workouts. What's the pill that boosts this metabolism? What's the food that melts fat? But here's the thing. Metabolism is not just a mechanical thing. It's not just about calories in and calories out. It's also about psychology. It's about lifestyle. It's about the way your brain and body interact. And that's what I want to walk you through today, because boosting your metabolism, losing fat, and actually feeling better is not just a question of science in a textbook. It's a question of how you live. So first, let's talk about what metabolism actually is. At the simplest level, metabolism is just the set of processes your body uses to convert food into energy. It's the chemistry that keeps you alive. Every cell in your body is like a little factory, and metabolism is the way those factories turn raw materials, food, into usable energy. Some of that energy is used right away to power movement, thinking, digestion, breathing. Some of it is stored for later as fat or glycogen. Now, the interesting thing about metabolism is that it's dynamic. It changes. It adapts. If you eat more, your body adjusts. If you eat less, your body adjusts. If you start exercising, your body adapts. If you stop exercising, your body adapts. It's not fixed. But here's where people get tripped up. They think metabolism is purely genetic or static. Like you reborn with a fast metabolism or a slow metabolism, and there's nothing you can do. That's not true. Yes, genetics play a role. Some people naturally burn more calories at rest. Some people have different hormone profiles. But lifestyle is a huge driver of metabolism. And not just the obvious things like exercise, but sleep, stress, relationships, even your mindset. These things literally change the way your body processes energy. Take stress, for example. When you're stressed, your body releases cortisol. Cortisol is a stress hormone that changes your metabolism. It tells your body to conserve energy and store fat, especially around the belly. Why? Because from an evolutionary perspective, stress often meant famine or danger. If you were stressed, your body thought, better store some energy just in case. That's why chronically stressed people often find it harder to lose weight, even if they're eating well. Their metabolism is shifted into a kind of protective, conserving mode. Now think about sleep. When you don't sleep enough, your body produces more ghrelin, which is the hunger hormone, and less leptin, which is the satiety hormone. That means you're hungrier and less satisfied. At the same time, sleep deprivation makes your body less insulin sensitive, which means your cells don't use sugar as effectively, so more of it gets stored as fat. And on top of that, when you're tired, you're more likely to reach for quick energy, caffeine, sugar, processed food. All of that combines to slow down metabolism and promote weight gain. So it's not just about exercise and diet. Sleep, stress, mental health, all of these are directly tied to metabolism. Now, let's bring in the psychology piece, because this is the part people don't talk about enough. Why is it that even when people know what to do, eat healthier, exercise, sleep better, they don't do it? Why do we binge at night even though we promised ourselves we wouldn't? Why do we skip the gym even though we know we'll regret it later? That's where the mind comes in. Because boosting your metabolism is not just about knowing the science, it's about aligning your mind with your body. Think about dopamine for a second. Dopamine is the neurotransmitter of motivation and reward. When you eat sugary food, dopamine spikes. When you scroll social media, dopamine spikes. These quick hits of dopamine train your brain to crave short-term rewards. But metabolism, fat loss, health, those are long-term rewards. You don't see results after one day of eating clean or one workout. You see them after weeks, months. So there's a mismatch. Your brain is wired to chase instant gratification, but your body needs you to play the long game. That's why people self-sabotage. It's not weakness. it's biology. So part of boosting your metabolism is actually retraining your brain's relationship with dopamine. It's about learning to tolerate the discomfort of delayed gratification. It's about finding ways to make the long term rewarding in the short term. For example, instead of focusing on, I need to lose 20 pounds, you focus on, I feel good after I exercise. I sleep better when I eat clean. My mood is better when I'm hydrated. You attach dopamine to the process instead of just the outcome. That changes your brain chemistry, and when your brain is on board, your metabolism follows. Another psychological factor is identity. A lot of people approach fat loss or metabolism from a place of shame. They think, I'm fat, I'm lazy, I'm unhealthy. They try to fix themselves from a place of self-hatred. The problem is, shame is not a sustainable motivator. It can push you for a few weeks, but eventually it collapses because no one can hate themselves into health. The people who succeed long-term are the ones who shift identity. They don't just go on a diet, they become someone who values their body. They don't just force themselves to exercise, they become someone who moves as part of their lifestyle. When identity shifts, behavior follows. And that identity shift literally changes your metabolism because you start making consistent choices that add up over time. Let's also talk about fat itself, because a lot of people don't realize fat is not just stored energy. It is an active tissue. Fat cells release hormones, cytokines, and other signaling molecules that influence your whole body. When you have excess visceral fat, it pumps out inflammatory signals that disrupt metabolism, increase insulin resistance, and raise the risk of disease. So fat isn't just passive storage. It's like an organ that talks to your brain and your liver and your muscles. That's why losing fat improves not just appearance, but also energy, mood, and longevity. So what can you actually do to boost your metabolism in a way that's sustainable? There are the basics, of course. Move more, eat whole foods, sleep better, manage stress. But the real shift comes when you align those behaviors with your psychology. For instance, let's say you want to start exercising. If you force yourself into a workout routine you hate, you'll quit. But if you choose something you enjoy, dancing, hiking, martial arts, lifting, you're more likely to stick with it. Enjoyment creates dopamine, which reinforces the habit, which boosts metabolism. Food is another place where psychology matters. If you approach food from a place of restriction, I can't eat this, I can't eat that, your brain rebels. Restriction increases cravings. But if you approach food from a place of abundance, I get to fuel my body with this colorful salad. I get to nourish myself with protein. I get to enjoy fresh fruit. Your brain feels satisfied. You're less likely to binge because you're not operating from deprivation. That's a psychological shift that changes your physiology. And then there's movement. A lot of people think boosting metabolism means hitting the gym hard. But actually, one of the most powerful things you can do is increase non-exercise activity, walking, standing, fidgeting, moving throughout the day. This is called NEAT, non-exercise activity thermogenesis. It can burn hundreds of extra calories per day without you even noticing. And the cool thing is, NEAT is more influenced by psychology than willpower. People who are depressed or anxious tend to move less. People who are engaged and joyful tend to move more. So if you want to increase NEAT, you don't just force yourself to walk. You cultivate joy and engagement in your life. That naturally makes you more active. The last piece I'll touch on for now is compassion. Because boosting your metabolism, losing fat, feeling better, it's a journey. And journeys involve setbacks. You'll miss workouts, you'll overeat, you'll have bad days. If you respond to those setbacks with shame, you spiral. But if you respond with compassion, it's okay, I slipped, I'll get back on track. You build resilience. And resilience is the real secret. Because the people who succeed are not the ones who never fall. They're the ones who keep getting up. And that persistence changes both the brain and the body. So yes, there are hacks and tricks. But the deeper truth is, metabolism is not just biology, it's psychology. It's behavior, it's identity. If you can line up your mind and your body, you can create a metabolism that works for you instead of against you. And that's how you lose fat. Keep it off. and actually feel better, not just in the short term, but for life. One of the biggest myths people have about metabolism is that it is something you can hack with a quick fix. They'll ask me, should I drink green tea? Should I eat spicy food? Should I fast for 16 hours? And the honest answer is that while little things can nudge metabolism slightly, none of them compare to the bigger picture of how your body is wired day after day. You can drink as much green tea as you want, but if you're sleeping 4 hours a night, chronically stressed, eating ultra-processed foods, and never moving, no amount of cayenne pepper is going to save you. That's because your metabolism isn't just a dial you can crank up with a trick. It is the sum total of how your body feels about your life. Think about that for a second. Your body is not separate from your mind. Your body listens to you. It listens to how you treat it. It listens to the signals you give it. It listens to your environment. If you're constantly telling your body, we're in danger, we don't have enough food, we don't have enough rest, we're overwhelmed, your body's metabolism is going to reflect that. It's going to slow down, conserve, hold on to fat. If instead your body hears, we're safe, we're rested, we're nourished, we're moving in ways that feel good, your metabolism speeds up. Your body becomes more efficient at burning energy, building muscle, and letting go of fat. This is where most fitness advice misses the point. People focus on surface-level hacks, but they don't understand that metabolism is a trust system between you and your body. If your body trusts you, it will burn energy freely. If your body doesn't trust you, it will hold on. That's why people who chronically diet often find themselves plateauing. If you restrict calories too much for too long, your body thinks you're starving. It lowers your metabolic rate to protect you. That's not failure, that's survival. Your body isn't sabotaging you, it's saving you. So one of the most important things to understand if you want to boost your metabolism is that you have to create safety for your body. Safety means consistency. Safety means nourishment. Safety means recovery. It doesn't mean punishment. Too many people punish their body with starvation diets, grueling workouts, and harsh self-talk. That just convinces your body it's in danger, which ironically makes fat loss harder. What works better is building a rhythm where your body feels it's okay to let go. That rhythm includes eating enough protein, sleeping enough hours, balancing stress, and moving regularly. Now let's talk about something very practical. Muscle. Muscle is metabolically active tissue. That means the more muscle you have, the more calories you burn even at rest. People with more muscle literally have higher metabolic rates because their body needs more energy just to maintain itself. That's why strength training is one of the most powerful tools for boosting metabolism. Cardio burns calories in the moment, but muscle keeps burning calories all day, every day. But here's the psychological part. A lot of people, especially beginners, are intimidated by strength training. They think it's only for bodybuilders or athletes. They think they have to go hard right away. And because of that, they never start. Or they start too hard, injure themselves, and quit. The key here is to approach muscle building not as a competition, but as a practice. You don't need to deadlift 300 pounds to benefit. Even bodyweight exercises, resistance bands, light dumbbells, those are enough to build muscle, boost metabolism, and change your body's relationship with energy. And what's interesting is that muscle does more than just burn calories. It also improves insulin sensitivity, which means your body uses sugar more effectively. That lowers blood sugar spikes, reduces fat storage, and gives you more steady energy. In other words, muscle is medicine. And when you approach muscle building as self-care rather than self-punishment, it becomes a sustainable part of your life. Now let's pivot to nutrition. People get so caught up in diets, keto, paleo, vegan, carnivore, intermittent fasting. And while all of these can work for some people, what really matters is sustainability and psychological fit. Your metabolism doesn't care about the label of your diet. It cares about whether you're consistently getting the nutrients you need without creating chronic stress. One of the best things you can do for your metabolism nutritionally is to eat enough protein. Protein not only helps build muscle, it also has the highest thermic effect of food. meaning your body burns more calories digesting protein compared to carbs or fats. Protein also keeps you full, which reduces overeating. But again, this isn't about turning food into numbers. It's about turning food into nourishment. When you eat protein-rich foods, colorful vegetables, healthy fats, and whole grains, your body feels safe. When you load up on processed junk, your body feels under siege. And notice the psychology again. People often binge because they feel deprived. They cut out entire food groups and eventually the brain revolts. The dopamine system kicks in and you find yourself elbow deep in a bag of chips. Instead of approaching food with restriction, approach it with curiosity and compassion. Ask yourself, what foods make me feel good? What meals give me steady energy? What nourishes me, not just in the moment, but hours later? That shift changes the way you relate to eating. And when your relationship with food changes, your metabolism follows. Let's also talk about hydration because it's one of the most overlooked parts of metabolism. Your body needs water for almost every metabolic process: digesting food, transporting nutrients, burning fat. Even mild dehydration slows metabolism and increases fatigue. A lot of the time when people feel hungry, they're actually thirsty. And when people feel tired, they're actually dehydrated. Something as simple as drinking enough water throughout the day can make a noticeable difference in energy and metabolism. But here's where the mind comes in again. People often reach for soda, coffee, or energy drinks instead of water because those give an immediate dopamine hit. Water doesn't. So staying hydrated requires mindfulness. It requires shifting your attention from quick stimulation to genuine care for your body. Now I want to spend some time on the nervous system because this is where the mind-body connection really shows up. Your nervous system has two main modes: sympathetic, which is fight or flight, and parasympathetic, which is rest and digest. When you're in sympathetic mode, your body prioritizes survival. It pumps blood to the muscles, raises your heart rate, floods you with adrenaline. When you're in parasympathetic mode, your body prioritizes healing, digestion, and metabolism. The problem is that modern life keeps a lot of us stuck in sympathetic mode. Constant stress, constant stimulation, constant busyness. We never fully drop into parasympathetic. And that means our metabolism is always slightly suppressed. So one of the best things you can do to boost metabolism is to train your nervous system to relax. That means practices like meditation, deep breathing, yoga, nature walks. These are not just soft activities. They literally shift your body into parasympathetic mode, which allows your metabolism to function optimally. And here's the psychological challenge. Many people resist relaxation because they associate it with laziness. They think, if I'm not grinding, I'm failing. But that belief keeps them stuck in sympathetic mode, which sabotages their health. True productivity requires recovery. True energy requires rest. And when you embrace that, your metabolism improves. Another powerful lever is circadian rhythm. Your body's metabolism is tied to your internal clock. When you eat, sleep, and move in alignment with that clock, your body is more efficient. When you're out of sync, eating late at night, staying up scrolling until 2 a.m., sleeping at irregular times, your metabolism suffers. Studies show that people who eat most of their calories earlier in the day burn more energy and store less fat than people who eat the same calories late at night. That's because your metabolism is naturally higher during the day when the sun is out and lower at night when your body expects rest.